I thought at our age life would slow down.
Not with everything we need to coordinate.
My overtime, his basketball league,
My podiatrist and her PT.
his colonoscopy.
Her allergist.
We need to be in 2 places at once, which is no problem, because the Iowa Clinic has over 40 specialties all in one place. So when our doctors want to coordinate our care, they just talk to each other.
Our doctors work together to figure out the best care for us, so we can go back to our busy lives, juggling our doctors, our careers.
Our grandchild.
Care how you want it. Visit iowaclinic.com.
What's going on? Welcome to Pregame here on the Cyclone Fanatic social media feeds. Of course, we are presented by our friends at the Iowa Clinic, Iowa Clinic Men's Center. Get those physicals. I always try and get mine right at the start of football season because it's a easy thing to remember. Get out there, be a man, go to the doctor, take care of yourself. All right, Iowa State, Northern Iowa, coming up, 1 o'clock Saturday. Let's go through my top 5 things to look for, along with a score prediction. Number 5, I want to see push from the defensive line. Listen, this has kind of become an old, reliable type of a situation for Iowa State, right? Really, since Campbell got there, Eli Rashid, the John Haycock defense, you really haven't had to worry about the D-line. I like the interior line a lot. I think Dominic Orange and the fellas in there, despite Isaiah Lee being off the team, I think that there's a lot of talent right there. But you can't just snap your fingers and replace Will freaking McDonald, right? So that to me, how are these guys going to do? I think there's a lot of young talent. Again, I'm not worried about this position, but I'm still very curious to watch it because you have a true freshman, middle linebacker, some experience beyond that. The secondary is lockdown. I mean, best secondary in Iowa State football history. How's that defensive line going to look early on in the season? That brings us to number 4. How many freshmen play in this game? We know that J.J. Cole is going to be out there in some capacity at quarterback. But there, I can go through the list. I think tight end. I think there's going to be some freshman running backs playing. We know Jack Sadowski at linebacker. There's potential for a wide receiver. Where are these freshmen coming from? How many of them play? And how important are they going to be for the 2023 Iowa State football season? I don't know. I'm personally a guy where I always hope fewer freshmen play, but we're in the NIL era now, and you got to get them out there if they're ready. Number 3 is the kicking game. My God. I mean, this is just a thing that we got to constantly talk about here with Iowa State. So when you look at Iowa State football this year, really most years, elite defense, right? But this year you've got young, inexperienced quarterbacks, major questions at the offensive line because we just haven't seen. You're going to play to your defense. If you're going to do that, you got to win with special teams too, right? And this Chase Contreras, the transfer from Nebraska, has won the kicking job. I want to see how he looks because I think it's critical. As bad as Iowa State was a year ago, if you're better at kicker, you're still in a bowl game. Plain and simple. Get better at kicker. Number 2 is easy. It's watch the quarterbacks. This could probably be number 1, but I think it'll make sense why it's not. Matt Campbell's going in playing Rocco back as well as J.J. Cole. Neither one of these guys beat the other out in fall camp, okay? So this is another audition, and we get to watch it, and it happens in front of 60,000 people against a real-life opponent, being the Northern Iowa Panthers. Fascinating theater. You'd rather not be in this position, but if you're a football fan, if you're a football geek, we get to sit there and watch these guys audition for the job. That's freaking awesome. That's special. I'll be locked into this quarterback competition between Rocco Beck and J.J. Cole at 1 o'clock on Saturday. But number 1, and it really comes down to it, and it's why I formed the opinion, sorry Rocco Beck, but I don't really want to throw the true freshman quarterback to the Wolves because I want to know about the offensive line play. Like every other Iowa State football fan, going into Saturday, this is going to be the key to the season, right? I know what you're getting on defense. These special teams, man, you really hope it's better. It's hard to be worse. How do you counteract inexperience at running back, inexperience at quarterback, and really a fresh tight end room as well, despite how talented we think that group is going to be. You've got to be better up front on the offensive line. New offensive line coach, new scheme with a new offensive coordinator. Not a new scheme, but it's going to be different in some capacity, right? How do the big boys up front under the leadership of Ryan Clanton look? And I think if there's going to be improvement from last year to now, we should be able to see it in week 1, right? I know the old cliche, oh, they get better in the – no, like we should be able to see it immediately against an FCS opponent where Iowa State has a great, great size advantage from the offensive line to the defensive line with Northern Iowa. That's my top 5. Now my pick for the game, I'm going to go Iowa State 24-14 over Northern Iowa. Listen, I think it's low scoring. I think that this game will be close going into the fourth quarter. Iowa State punches one in late. I think the fact that it's going to be 95 degrees is definitely in favor of Iowa State. Iowa State should win this game by double digits, right? But we're not stupid. We've seen how Northern Iowa plays this. Mark Farley always has great game plans for the Cyclones. Northern Iowa is not afraid of playing in Jack Trice Stadium, nor should they be. They win there. 24-14, I'd be really happy with that. And you regroup and you get ready for the University of Iowa next week in Kinnick Stadium. Thanks to Matt Van Winkle for producing this video as always. We are presented by the Iowa Clinic. We will be here at halftime. We will be here for post-game reaction right here on all of your Cyclone Fanatic social media feeds. Have a great opening week of college football.